In this video we are going to talk about hiking for beginners 10 essential tips. Whatever you do or don't do, please have respect for the hike and other hikers. In a nutshell, that means: don't litter or throw fruit peels. Don't leave the official trail. Don't disturb the environment around you, breaking branches, etc. Be considerate of other hikers, no loud music, etc. The outdoors is experiencing a resurgence, which is great, but there are also some ugly downsides. Be a champion of the outdoors and a steward of nature. If we can all use the trails responsibly and vote for those who support the outdoors, it means more funding for parks and trails, which means more hiking options for all of us. If we leave more empty water bottles and poop bags on the trail, trails will close. 1. Pick a hike for beginners. The biggest mistake beginners make is overdoing it. They pick a hike that's either too long or has too much climbing. If you're just starting out, pick a hike under 5 miles with minimal climbing. If you want to do a longer hike, make a training plan in advance. Do an extra mile or 2 each week and build up to your target distance. Don't forget to look at the total climbing on your hike. A flat 5 miles is much different than 5 miles straight uphill. If you are doing a hilly or mountainous hike, read my guide on mountain hiking. There are a ton of great resources to find a trail. This website has many beginner-friendly trail guides. You can also visit sites like Gaia GPS or AllTrails. If books are your thing, there are great hiking guidebooks out there as well. You're going to want to get familiar with the hike before you go. Read the trail guide, know what to expect, where the turns are, and how long it should take you. You don't have to memorize anything. You should just have a good idea of what to expect. 2. Pick hiking gear for beginners. The nice thing about beginning hiking is that you don't really need any special gear. You can probably get away with things you already have. Let's start with clothing. A typical mistake hiking beginners make is wearing jeans and regular clothes, which will get heavy and chafe whiff. They get sweaty or wet. Wear wicking workout clothes, which are designed for being active. Long pants or tights are good for making sure your legs don't get scraped up on bushes along the trail. Likewise, long sleeve shirts will protect you from the elements, but you can roll up the sleeves when it's hot. Shoes are also important. A good pair of sneakers or trail runners is usually your best bet. If you have an old pair of hiking boots in your closet, it might be better to leave them behind if you haven't worn them in a while. They could cause blisters. Next on the list would be a backpack. Water. Bring more than you need, snacks, and extra layers. Be prepared for rain, or for the temperature to go up or down. If you want to dive deeper into what to bring, I recommend reading these articles. 3. Understand your map. Understanding where you are and where you are going is key to enjoying your hike. A combination of electronic navigation and paper is a good route for hiking beginners. To start, print out the hiking guide and map. If it's raining, throw them in a Ziploc bag. Read over the guide, study the map, and have a good idea of what to expect. I like to know what my next landmark is as I hike. For example, I'll read the guide and know that, say, in a mile, I make a right turn at the junction. Having this in my head keeps me aware of the next move. I also load a GPX file onto a GPS device. A GPS can pinpoint your location using satellites. The good news is that most smartphones have GPS built in these days. The bad news is that most smartphones are easy to drop, shatter, get wet, etc. So you can't rely on them. But they are good to have a backup. 4. Time. First, I highly recommend that you start your hike as early as possible. The later you leave it, the more crowds there will be. Conversely, if you're scared to hike alone and want other people on the trail, leave at a popular time. It might be harder to park, etc. But you'll have company. Second, check the weather. If you're hiking to a mountain top, check the conditions on the mountain with a website, mountain-forecast.com. Last, check the park website and Twitter feed before you go. Sometimes parks and trails get closed for whatever reason. Nothing like driving to a hike only to find out that it's closed. 5. 2-minute prep session. Every hike requires a little prep work, even if it just takes a few minutes. A few trails require a permit, always mentioned in my guides. If you're not sure whether you need one, a call to the park office will clear it up. They're often free and obtainable before your hike. And this might seem like common sense, but you need to check the weather before your hike. If the weather looks bad, wet, crazy, you should do the hike on another day. And be aware that the weather conditions on mountains can be drastically different than the closest town. For example, it can be 72°F in Mount Baldy village with a blizzard on the summit of Mount Baldy. 6. Tell someone. Here's another great tip that's easy and could save your life. At the very least, tell someone where and when you'll be hiking. It can be as simple as sending a text message with the hike webpage and note that you'll be back at a certain time. If something bad happens, this will increase your chances of being found dramatically. You can also get very detailed with this nice worksheet that the LA County Sheriff's Department put together. If you get an InReach device, you can even leave a breadcrumb trail of where you are hiking so that friends and family are able to follow in real time. 7. Hiking is not a race. Remember the story about the turtle and hare? In hiking, steady is better than quick. I often see beginners starting a hike with a really fast pace, only to blow up later. Conserve your energy, especially on a long hike. You never know what situation you'll have to use your energy on later. For example, if you get lost or take a long trail, you'll need energy to correct it. It's a matter of safety. Plan on finishing with some juice in your tank. Likewise, if you're hiking in a group, stay with the group. I've led hiking groups where a few people just took off from mile 0. If you're hiking together, stay together. If you do decide to split up in groups, plan on intervals, such as trail junctions, where the group will reform. There's nothing worse than not knowing where some of your party are on the trail. It's a surefire way to not make it to your destination or turn a day hike into a night hike. Hiking at a comfortable pace is also a great way just to soak it all in. Enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the fresh air, keep your eyes open for wildlife, and have fun. 8. Watch your feet. This one might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised at the number of people who need to be rescued because of a twisted ankle. The biggest risk you generally have on an easy hike is stepping in the wrong place. This could mean twisting your ankle, slipping on a rock, tripping on a root, or worse, stepping on some poisonous wildlife. Just be conscious of where you are walking, especially if you are chatting, tired, or wearing headphones. 9. Don't fear getting lost. If you think you're lost, the first thing you need to do is stop. Take a look at your guide and see if anything sounds or looks familiar. If not, just backtrack until your surroundings match what's described in your guide. Getting lost hiking is something that happens to the best of us all the time, and is not a big deal. Backtracking solves the problem 99% of the time. However, if you backtrack for a while and still don't recognize anything, stop. See if you have a cell phone signal and try calling 911. You can also try texting to 911, which is available in some areas. If you have a GPS rescue beacon, now's the time to hit the button. You can also try yelling help at regular intervals. If you are in an area that's open, hang any bright clothing for aircraft and spell out help with sticks and rocks on the ground. If you're cold, simply piling dead leaves on top of you will keep you warm. People have lasted 7 to 10 days without water, 60 to 70 without food. 10. Learn hiking etiquette for beginners. A hiker going uphill has the right of way, unless they stop to catch their breath. If you're on a flat section, just be courteous and move to the side, allowing the hikers to pass. If someone is hiking up behind you, stop and let them pass. Say a simple, hello, when you pass other hikers.